Good afternoon, traders. I'm Michael Sabo, Senior Commodities Broker here with RJO Futures on Wednesday, October 9th. Some commentary here in the energy market. So let's get started here. Crude prices have been significantly weaker here. Basically all morning here and into the afternoon. Currently, November oil trading around 101.42. That's down right now over $2. Low so far today was down at around 101.18. So we've certainly had a much weaker tone. Brent also weaker here on the day. We're down around 108.56. That's off about $1.60. Nat gas is weaker. And taking a look at the complex, that's off about 2 to 3 cents. So, we still have obviously this ongoing debate here with this government shutdown. We're seeing that have an effect, obviously, on the equities market, as we're seeing today. S&P making another new low here. So that's been kind of helping drag things down. Traders having a little bit of a risk-off type attitude. But I think more importantly than that right now, some of the other things that are happening in the oil market. I mentioned this in a prior post here. IMF basically revising global growth outlook for several countries. And I think that's certainly going to translate into something that we've talked about in so many of these posts, which is weaker demand for crude oils as we're here coming into the fourth quarter. So, we got to keep an eye on that. Now, we take a look at what we have going on here in terms of the stockpiles. And this is something I've talked about in so many posts. We did have EIA data come out here today, and we saw another build in stockpiles, 6.8 million barrel build. Now, that's putting our total stockpiles here of over 370 million barrels. And we got to put that into perspective. Our 5-year average for this time of year is around 342 million barrels. And if we look at our highest stocks, which we'd have to go only back to 2012, we are in at 366 million barrels for this time of year. And as I just said earlier, we're currently at 370 million barrels for this time of the year. So we have now the highest amount of stocks that we've ever had on hand for this time of year. We take a look at our lowest stocks we've had this time of year. We'd have to drop another 100 million barrels, going down to around 270 million barrels, which was back in around 2002. So as you can see, something I've talked about in so many posts that I feel like a broken record, we've got ample stockpiles out there right now of crude oil. And with demand, slowing here a little bit, or projected here to slow, that is helping translate into lower crude prices. Now, still trading up above $100, obviously, but I do think that market is going to start coming down. I've mentioned it in several posts. I think, we're going to be targeting around $100 a barrel. Taking a look at the 200-day moving average, could be putting it down around about $99 a barrel. And something else that came out here today that was being talked about in the news, several major banks coming out and actually lowering their price projections for crude oil here into the fourth quarter here, looking for it to trade down below $100 a barrel. So I think you've got a lot of good things, at least in the fundamental picture here, suggesting crude prices are going to continue weaker. Now, looking at the short-term technicals, we are a little bit oversold in this area. So it is possible to see things kind of bounce up a little bit. We've got to watch here. Last time prices, we got down around this low, which was right around the beginning of October. Excuse me, we got down around, a little bit lower here. We kind of saw that bounce up. So we might find a little bit of temporary support down there, but ultimately I do believe that prices are going lower, short of any major geopolitical event. And, the stuff going on in Syria is really taking a back burner, especially with things that are happening here with this government shutdown. Once they do solve this problem, and I do think that they will, you might see crude maybe give a little bit of a dead cat bounce. But again, ultimately, I think prices are heading lower. I've got some trading ideas. If you're interested, give me a call, shoot me an email. I've got some different ratio spreads that we're working with in options. I can explain to you, go over the different strike prices with you. Also talk to you about some key technical levels that we're looking at here on the futures prices. So again, give me a call, shoot me an email. We can get into a whole lot more detail. And of course, remember that futures trading does involve a substantial amount of risk, may not be suitable for all traders. Good luck and good trading.